All right. So Pep Talk UK lockdown pro Beez. Remember, subscribe, and I'm delighted to be joined for the first time, first ever time, by Peter Fury. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. It's good to hear from you.
Do you know what? On my bucket list, a number of trainers, a number of people I wanted to catch up with in person.
Yeah,
Um, do you know what? I can't do it in person, but I'll just do it through the screen. Nice to meet you for the first time.
it's next to the real thing.
Yeah. So, obviously we've had this big interruption in the boxing calendar. I know, obviously, you had some plans for Huey in terms of, trying to get him back into contention. How have things been for you right now in terms of planning 2020?
Well, yeah, Yui came up yesterday, Sunday. He's done training with me today. He'll do some pad work with me later. So he's here for the week. And he'll go back home, probably spend a week back at ease, and then back up to mine for another week. So we're just keeping him steady at the moment. So he's just going to be ready in case the phone rings. Because the main thing now is to make sure he's ready at any time. And I don't know when the boxing is going to commence, but as and when it does, you will be ready.
Yeah, because obviously there was a lot of talk about potentially initially starting behind closed doors. Um, the UFC will try to do it, or the UFC might be doing it. The WWE is actually doing it. I don't know if you still watch wrestling. I mean, my wrestling days they've got long gone. I don't watch wrestling anymore. But I did catch a clip of SmackDown, and I did see them still performing during this period, which was a bit different without a crowd.
I think that's one thing. I think that can be done. I think that's possible. But listening to the boxing board of control, their concern is once everything eases off, it's getting the staff there, the medical staff around the ring. The supervisors and stuff like this for the health and safety, and they don't want to put more pressure on the NHS because all hands on deck are needed there. So it just depends. That's very good behind closed doors, but that's not the end of it all. We need the paramedics there and all of that. So providing they're not overstretched, and like you said, we've hit the peak now, then should be good. Certainly, hopefully by July or August or something like that.
Yeah, because Eddie Hearn did say those that are ready will get straight back out there. Those who are not are going to have to wait. So it is kind of like an indirect message to the fighters that look, it's not a time for Jaffa cakes right now and kebabs. It's a time to stay ready.
Yeah, it's true. It's right what he says. The fighters need to be ready, and that's what's forefront on my mind. So, I'm training, just getting him ready, and we will be ready.
What's the direction fight wise? I mean, do you know? Okay, let me take it back to when Huey fought Joseph Parker. Now, obviously, it's well documented out there that that scoring was mad. Yeah, the scoring was mad that night. The dust has settled, but even when you watch it back, you're like, huh? How did it happen? And I think that actually was in recent times. It was bad scoring that kind of started off things later on down the line of recent times, shall I say? Because we saw some other debatable scoring over the past like couple years in other fights as well. But that one at that level for Huey, I mean, how's he tried to? Obviously, he's been in fights since, but has it gone? Is he totally back and focused? I mean, how's his whole mindset been?
Yeah, that's the thing of the past now. Like I said, you can't fight the judges. You can only fight the man who's in front of you in the ring. So these things, sometimes they happen. But it's one of them things you can't dwell too much on it. Uh, you know, so, hopefully they can meet again sometime in the future. And sort it out properly there. So, like I said, it's just what it is. But no, it's just move on, focused. And if it's not your day, it's not your day. There's always another day, and
Mm.
you just got to take positives from negatives, really. and do more. Not rely on the judges. Which now he knows it's not just about boxing. It's about boxing and looking to take the target out, rather than just boxing and just doing the 10, doing the 12. You really need to look to put the fights in your own hands, and it's not down to the judges. Plus, it gives a more entertaining fight as well.
I mean, if you take it back to even way back when Canelo was only a young fighter and he fought against Floyd Mayweather, and one of the judges actually gave the fight to Canelo.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw that fight,
But he didn't win a round, did he? He got completely schooled on it. But, again, like you said, he was a young fighter, loading up with his shots. And, the more you load up with somebody on, with great skill like Mayweather, the more you can see him. So he just missed and threw to the wind. But Canelo's learned a lot since then. And, he's improved his game. So, like I said, it doesn't matter about young fighters dropping a points decision loss. It's all learning anyway. Whether don't get it wrong, the Parker fight was very debatable, but he's not done any harm by having these type of fights. The 3 losses he's had, has put him where he is today.
And to be fair, the 3 losses are creditable opponents. He hasn't gone in there with any plumbers or anything like that. He's gone in with tough fighters.
Yeah, this is it. Look at his. You look at the last opponent. We had one from. Well, let's have a look at the stats. He had one who was 17-0 from Canada, and he blew him away in a round or 2. And then we got this one here, who'd been the distance with some American over there, and who was 18-0. He took him the full 10, and he'd only lost 2 fights out of 13 or something. You've seen what happened there in his last fight. He blew him away. Yui's a world level fighter. So that's what happens when you step down. But no, he's improving all the time. So his power's coming on a lot now, and he's a lot better, comfortable. So I think just looking forward now to getting back at it.
Yeah. What do you think? Obviously, there's a unique crop of guys, in at the top of the sport. What is Huey? What does he need to add to his artillery to join those guys and be in that mix?
I think he's already there. He just needs to be himself. He needs to relax. Knowing that what he's been through, the fighters he's been in there with, he's just got to relax and enjoy his game, because he's got boxing ability to burn. He can do a lot, and but we've just been working on a few different things, changing his game up, hitting with a lot more power, and looking to take opponents out, rather than just, like I said, rather than just going the distance.
Yeah,
he's,
I mean,
fan friendly as well. Better.
I mean, we talked about obviously the end goal of being a world champion. Sometimes, it might not happen straight away, but I did an interview with Johnny Nelson, and look at Johnny Nelson. You know what I mean? After his first 4 fights, it didn't go well, and he ended up on top as a world champion. So are those the type of things that keep Huey sort of, ticking along and focused on that end goal?
This is it, fighters, whatever it takes, it's the longevity which is the key. Now, I remember Johnny Nelson. I know Johnny Nelson very well, and I remember him when he had his early fights, and I remember him when he was at his losses. I was at one of them. And the thing is, even when he fought was it De Leon for the world title? He just took a mental freeze in there. People were throwing paper cups in the ring. When he fought for the world title first time round, he couldn't hold his head up around Sheffield. Everybody was like going mad. He literally never threw a punch in the whole fight. So, and look where he developed from there. Johnny Nelson was an excellent cruiserweight world champion, wasn't he? Very good fighter. When he did turn the corner, he was a phenomenal fighter. But it's all about immatureness as well. There's a lot to. You can have all the skills in the world, but if you're slightly immature, it takes time to build up that confidence and stuff like that. Like I said, boxing's as much mental as what it is physical. But in your regard, it's just a case of he's been a young heavyweight and he's been maturing, and that's what we see.
Let's talk about a bit about obviously family ties. the big debate out there is, who is the guy? Who is the number one heavyweight out there? In your humble opinion, obviously there's a lot of talk about Fury versus Joshua, Tyson against Joshua, a lot of talk out there, and I think it's the mega fight that people want to see. Um, how does that fight go? I mean, how does that fight go in your humble opinion if it happens?
Styles make fights. You can never say how any fight's going to go because they've both got defenses first anyway. Joshua got Pulev, Tyson's got Wilder, so they're not there yet. And I definitely don't see Wilder stepping aside at all. I think Wilder will want to revenge his loss. So, like I said, no fight is a given. You just can't say what's going to happen. Every day is a different day, a different night. So we just have to wait and see. But there's one thing for sure: the unification fights are getting closer now. So either one of them's only one fight away from a unification fight. So it's we'll probably see both fights again this year, or like I said, but certainly next year, 2021, we'll see unifications in the heavyweight division.
You mentioned Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, there's been some bits online that he's been talking to George Foreman, about potentially meeting up and going through a few things. I mean, do you think, that's the key thing that you'd be missing from his artillery to kind of develop what he already has for a rematch with Tyson Fury?
I think he's just got to look. Everybody has bad nights. Joshua had a bad night in Vegas. Deontay Wilder's
in New York, yeah.
There, Tyson had a very bad night when he fought the other guy where he got cut. That fight he made hard work of it. So you just can't tell. Everybody has an off night. It don't mean to say, that this guy's useless. That's not the way it works. Like I said, it depends on your own mind and who you're boxing on that evening. There could be a lot of factors there. But the main thing is that, Wilder, he has got some things to change. But, if he wants it bad enough, he'll change them. Because he's just relying on that big punch. And he's relying on a lot of people afraid of him and moving away from him all the time. So when he got it, when he got it took to him, and Tyson held the center of the ring, he didn't really know what to do there. It was all lost at sea because when the punches started coming his way and coming forward, Wilder needs time to line you up. He needs to take his time, set himself, and then release the shots. Well, he never had time in that fight. He got overwhelmed early on, and he never recovered from it.
Would you draw any similarities or parallels with Mike Tyson? Because when Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, that era of invincibility was lost. It was gone, and then Tyson was never the same. Is it sort of a similar thing? You've got this fearsome fighter that's been icing everybody, and all of a sudden he takes his first loss, and other fighters feel a bit more confident to march forward on him.
I think the difference is with Mike Tyson. He did take a beating that evening, and it was an absolutely beautiful display with Buster Douglas. One of the best boxing displays I've seen, actually. And like I said, but the difference is with Mike Tyson, he abused himself outside the ring. He had so much money early on, and I don't really think it was the boxing which was Mike Tyson's demise after Buster Douglas. I think it was his own mindset where he couldn't raise himself. He had everything. He just run off the rails. What happened to Mike Tyson? But with Wilder, if he's a consummate professional, which he looks like he is, he'll be dedicated, then he can come back. The thing with Wilder, he's always going to be dangerous because if he catches you properly, he's going to hurt you, isn't he? So he's got that as well. So I expect they'll have a rematch and it'll be a good fight.
Yeah, same result, or is there still a question mark about who will come on top in the rematch? Well, the third fight.
Well, like I said, you can't ultimately say, but the first fight was it was a close fight. So like I said, the second fight, who knows? But if Wilder needs to change quite a lot if he's to succeed. Let's put it that way, because the Wilder that we've seen won't be good enough.
Wow. All right. Well, we look forward to the return of boxing. We look forward to seeing Peter Fury back out there at the presses and the events, etc., etc. Hey, I got a. By the way, does he do any like dancing? Because he's hella slick when he's doing the movement around the ring. A friend of mine's like Huey. He moves around like Chris Brown. The singer Chris Brown when he's moving around the ring.
I don't know what he does in his own private time. That's not something I get involved with. I don't know whether he can dance or not. He probably can. He should be able to do the amount of foot moves he does. For sure.
Excellent stuff, Peter. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for your time. And wishing you well in this lockdown.
And you. All the very best, and nice speaking with you.
Thank you, Peter.
Take care.
Pep Talk. Subscribe. Thank you. Cheers, Peter.